how does astrology bring back a sense of individuation?
It distinguishes personality types. It doesn't give direction, it often confirms. Why don't you just give yourself permission to figure out your system and then drop in, drill down, and authenticity will arrive. I was so fucked up as a younger person because, like you, I had hyper ambition. It's in my chart. And I was so nervous. I walked in, my little ego, she totally didn't believe in me. The opposite of your career is your childhood wound. And it influences your career.
Your mess becomes your message.
And your angst becomes your liberation. The very thing that hurts you becomes the doorway for your freedom. And that's the simple thing about astrology. And the weirdest part about it is, it always works. You don't have to believe in astrology. It believes in you. Now, you want to catch up and wake up?
Hi, Debra. What?
Hi. I love everything about this moment. I'm so happy.
Me too. I just love you. And I'm holding your book, I Don't Believe in Astrology. And it's the most absurd name, like title. How did you come up with the...
Because my whole career, I've been doing this for decades, and people keep saying I don't believe in astrology. And I thought, I'll write a book with that title because so many people have said, if I had a nickel, because I've been doing this for so many years, and in the beginning, nobody believed in astrology.
Why do you think they don't believe in astrology?
Because the church said it was really strong sorcery in the church. It's black magic. So it really got infiltrated. Not in India, not in ancient cultures, not in indigenous cultures. The Mayans, they have a whole, even the Jews, the whole system was based on the stars. But somewhere in the story, someone said, don't let them make decisions on their own. Stop freeing their minds to being individuals. We need them to follow. And that was the end of that.
That was the end of that. And how does astrology bring back a sense of individuation?
It distinguishes personality types. So you're allowed, for example, Mr. Grounded, Mr. Taurus Virgo, you're supposed to be doing a podcast called Grounded. It supports, it only echoes. It doesn't give direction. It often confirms. So if I say you're a double earth sign, no surprise, your podcast helps us ground. I am a double air sign. I wanted the air conditioning on. That would not be a surprise. I need the wind. I need to be on a bike. So we learn the distinctions, and then we say to someone, just be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Like, why don't you just give yourself permission to figure out your system and then drop in, drill down, and authenticity will arrive.
Yeah, that's what's so powerful. I remember when we did my reading the other night, like I was looking at my, what do you call it? Angst. My angst as a bug.
Double Capricorn.
I was like, oh, I'm sabotaging. I'm showing up sabotaging. You're like, don't do that. Wait. I remember you like distinctly called me. You're like, don't do that. And then you just schooled me and you brought me into awareness of just how these parts of me that I had been labeling as wrong, as bad, as pathology are actually gifts. If I just understand where the gifts can be used and how the gifts can be not gifts if I'm not aware.
And if you're cursing yourself, if there's a judgment, I mean, you are prone as a Virgo to criticize oneself. And until you realize it's an instinctual, automatic reactive. And then you get, your awareness comes out. I call it the observer in the book. And you go, why do I criticize? What part of me always assumes I'm getting it wrong? And once the awareness is on, there's a free will button. Right next to awareness lives free will. And then it's been so fun for me because in my career, I get to watch people walk in and go, something's wrong with me. And I go, excuse me, God did not have a bad day when she made you.
Ooh.
Like, this was not a mistake. You're a double Capricorn. You have to go uphill. They're mountain climbers. Does a mountain climber complain? Like, I've got such a mountain to climb. That's like their delight. Now, if you're me, I don't want to go uphill.
I think this is a really powerful piece. It's like when you can learn to delight in the thing that you thought was something wrong with you. How do you teach people to do that?
I don't teach them. I study. They come and they study in my school, and they find out, like in your case, that you're triple earth. So being grounded and complaining, that's a big part of Capricorn. And they just, in Virgo, something's wrong. And you just get it so clear in the book or in the analysis, and then you go, wow, now that you mentioned it, I do that all the time. This is called the observer. Like, I'm now aware that I criticize myself and I call myself a sabotager. That's why I screamed at you. Like, where'd you get that?
So let me ask you this. Like, okay, let's say I become aware of these traits, these aspects of self, and now I choose differently.
The
Does that-
narration changes, not the behavior. The narration, the gremlin. You came in and you handed me a gremlin. I'm such a saboteur. Like, don't you dare bring your gremlins in my living room. Who gave you that narrative? So I don't change behaviors. I put the awareness on that says, oh, I'm a double. When you read about double Capricorn and it says 100% you're a complainer, and then suddenly your awareness comes on and you say, I'm not doing that anymore. The free will button.
So does that change? So then what does that shift? I think that's like, and this is an interesting conversation because I've been really dancing with this, like this game of destiny and free will. And if something's written in the stars and my personality, my behaviors are written in the stars, it's who I am, then where does the free will button come in? Like, where does the ability to transform and transcend these patterns and these beliefs and shift my own operating system? Like, where does that agency come in? Because I feel like that's, like, to me, like that's what drives me, like the knowing that I can actually transcend.
Yes, it's not transcend, Mr. Grounded. It's not getting up and out of it. It's getting really into it. So what you're asking is, there's no free will. You are a workaholic. I can't make that go away. I'm sorry. You're triple Earth. What I can add to it, and I'm going to use the word again because you should be really asking me what's awareness. Awareness is the part of you that stands up and out. It's like if right now, if we turn our awareness on, there's two people sitting on a couch. We neutralize everything. Like we're a New York Times reporter. He's got a blue shirt on. I've got a white shirt on. They're sitting there. There's no narration as far as judging or criticizing or wishing it was different. We're simply observing with awareness in a neutral place of like Switzerland where there's no one going to go to war. I love thinking of that. I put that in the book. The observer is Switzerland. Now, if I can cultivate your observer, the behaviors aren't going to change. You're going to be a workaholic. I would never ask you to just go relax and not get anything done today. How many podcasts can we do in a day, said the triple Earth. That's what you do, right? I just speak to the obvious.
Funny.
It's because it's so true. It's always funny because it's so true. Now, what I can do for you in my exchange with you in the session today is heighten your awareness and put the new narration on, which is, this is the difference between complaining and really choosing. I love doing these podcasts.
So it's almost like so the behavior, the trait is just nature.
Super glue.
It's who you are, right? But then the choice comes in. So there's like a shadow and a light side of the, is that the best way to see it?
I use the word gremlin.
Yeah, so the gremlin side, and then there's the other side, which might be the
High road, we call it.
high road. So the game then is about just stacking more of the high road throughout your life and not shaming yourself through understanding. Like when you understand yourself, you don't need to shame yourself. And when you don't need to shame yourself, you liberate so much bound energy.
That is 100%. See, for a Virgo to get that, for a Taurus, your sun in Taurus, to accept that you're like a personality type who's a workaholic, and you don't want to change. You want to change. You think you should change it. What's wrong with me?
Well, that's been my path of, I think you mentioned this with me, like there's like, I have split personalities. One is like the double Capricorn, want to go get all the things done and build, but then I also have smush and I want to be home and I want to
Mars
snuggle.
and Cancer and Pluto and Scorpio.
Yeah, and I want to, and like for me, like I do find that like that split
ping pong
of back and forth and bringing this side in here and that side in here, and it creates confusion and mix up. And so it's actually been beautiful since we met, that I've been like just aware, but the awareness gives me the ability to just accept myself.
And that's my specialty.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm older than you. And I feel like I'm a grandmother. I'm on my way tomorrow to fly to London to see my grandkids. I do feel like a grandmother. I don't look like a grandmother exactly as our my
Feel your feelings.
because that's right. I told everyone about that story, what you did with me that night. Anyways, I am not a grandmother because I feel my feelings. I'm taking your. It is true. I really process. I stay honest as best I can, and at the same time, my job this life, however old I am, is to give out permission slips, and then new narration. Because once you're aware that you are never going to stop being a workaholic, double Capricorn. I'm sorry.
How did you discover and come to realize that your purpose, your life was to give permission slips? Like that feels like, because I see so many people that are just looking for that thing. What's my thing? How do I know my thing? And I feel like astrology can be such a powerful tool for helping people navigate that lost terrain, to helping them find what that is for them. So how did that happen for you?
Okay, I'm going to do it for you and I both, and you're going to go,
great.
this is crazy. So there's something in the chart called the midheaven. What was on the top of the sky at the moment that your mother gave birth to you? For you, it's Scorpio, and I'll describe it, but you're asking me. For me, it's Cancer. I know my mission, my highest calling, we call it, the version of what's standing on my head, like my mother's head, the quality of energy, and mine was the mother. Well, that was a very natural revelation when I read about it. I was like, well, that's so true. I love to give people nurturing and hold them and be close to them and be real and mushy. Yours, get ready, is in Scorpio. You want to go into their... He came over to my house. Can I just tell the story? He came over to my house, did not...
Wait.
It's okay. It's perfectly fits.
tell
He
the
didn't
story.
ask me. I don't understand. He was coming over to my house to share his life's work, which I recognized him very quickly when I did the first interview ways back. And now he's going into Scorpio, into my psyche, to go to my pain body, to show me how. I was like, excuse me, did I invite you here tonight to do this? I was a little confused because I didn't really know what I was getting into. I just said yes.
Totally. Yeah.
So that's Scorpio midheaven. Your highest calling, your purpose this life is to penetrate people's depth and to ask the deepest questions. Have you noticed? To go into a podcast and have people go right. Mine is, are you okay, Cancer? Can I give you a little cuddle? Do you need me some? Do you need anything from me? Can I help you? That's my instinctual highest calling. Well, it perfectly fits my career. And so does yours, to work with people at the deepest psychological level. So I can look at your midheaven. And that's the simple thing about astrology. And the weirdest part about it is, it always works. I came as a skeptic. That's why the title of the book is, you don't have to believe in astrology. It believes in you. Now, you want to catch up and wake up? You want to turn your observer?
How did you learn to believe in it?
Well, that was a problem because I just came that way. I mean, I was so young. I'm peculiar. Have you noticed?
Sometimes.
I'm like not really, well,
You're kind of peculiar.
I present normal.
Yeah.
Setting on the dryer. I'm kind of normal. Not really. But what is also true is that I knew very, very young that this passion for astrology, I mean, if I tell you that I was 10 years old and I never deviated, I went to graduate school and got a master's in clinical psychology, and it was in the 80s, and went to my supervisor and said to her, I'm going to do a research project on astrology and psychology. And she was like, what did you just, like, it was... So I've always had a very strong calling. I know it's unusual because all the clients I work with, as you said, say, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I don't know what I'm supposed to be, presenting in the world. And that's what the chart. And then I look at the chart and the answers are in the stars.
Well, so let's play that out. So let's say mine's Scorpio, right?
So
let's
strong.
say I didn't know what I was doing with my life, right? Let's say I didn't have it all mapped out. Let's say it was like actually 5 years ago. Like I'm looking back to when I was in corporate America. I was a petroleum engineer in corporate America. And let's just say at that point, I discovered Debra, right? I read your book and then I found you. And then I'm like, okay, Debra, like, what do I do with my life? How would have knowing, because now it feels obvious. I'm like, okay, it's Midheaven Scorpio. I'm like, yeah, I'm living my purpose. I get it. But like, how would I have integrated that information into a tangible next set of, like, what would I have done?
You would have sat with me. First of all, yours is a little more than Scorpio. You actually have Pluto. The planet is standing. When your mom gave birth, right above your head of that bed was not only Scorpio, but Pluto was in Scorpio. It's a very significant marker. We call it the midheaven. So you would have come in for a session with me, and I would have seen that you had Mars in Cancer, and you were a double Capricorn, and I would have said, oh, I see the corporate. Double Capricorn loves making money. but you've got this compulsion, Pluto, on your career that you've got to go deep. And you're never going to, and you would have come in saying, I don't know why I'm not satisfied, because that's what the clients say to me. And by the way, I don't do readings, but I do matchmaking. I have 22 certified astrologers, so don't ask me because I'm old. But I have 22 certified astrologers, and I do matchmaker, make me a match, find me I literally match people up knowing their chart. But if you would have come in and I saw your chart, I would have said, you're never going to be, your chart demands depth. So no matter how successful you are in the corporate world, you're a healer with Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Scorpio. I'm going to let you know right now that you need to go study breathing, psychological, hypnosis, anything that take us deep into our unconscious. You're going to get super excited. Then you would have been like, oh, I'll go take a hypnosis class. So I direct people based on their chart, and then it fits.
That's really good. So it's more of like, it's the confronting. At that point in my journey, it would have been a truth bomb. And the conviction with which the astrologer, let's say it was you, delivers it to me, could have pierced me in that moment and allowed me to shift the course of my life. But inevitably, somehow, some way, I would have ended up exactly where I am.
That's right.
Doing what I'm doing, because I already did.
At 27 to 30, in those 3 years, people's lives get disrupted. How many of you know Saturn Return?
Does that happen again?
At 58 to 60, 57 to 60, it happens again.
Like that happened
which is
to my
when my
dad.
school started, when I turned 60. So it's guaranteed. It's not a question mark. Saturn Return's coming to get you. Now, go get my book if you don't want to get a reading and figure it out. Life is trying to stalk you. It knew your gift this life. It was written in the Akashic Records. Raj is going to go down there and work with emotional content and transmute it, but do it corporately, double Capricorn. Make a business of it. Have very high standards for the numbers and for how to grade it, how to actually put it into a system. He won't be satisfied with doing one-on-one. He's got double Capricorn. He's got ambition like a monster. Sorry. So now we know that. We know the skill set, but we know that you've got a really high regard for results because you're triple Earth. See, I'm speaking to you, and the audience probably knows you somewhat, but everyone I talk to, I adjust the language to speak to them. And they're
How
like,
do you know? How do you know
that's
what
they,
language?
They always say, how do you know? Well, astrology is an airtight system. I hate to say this. I always feel like I'm like a used car salesman trying to sell you. Like, I don't know how to articulate it without sounding like a used car salesman.
Well, sound like a used car salesman.
Because my dad was one. So the story goes like this. It's impeccable. It's ageless. It's the oldest science on earth. It got disregarded because they didn't want to let us have individual thought. Religion was dependent on us following. Astrology does not encourage following. It's a uniqueness that polishes your voice. Some people, water, like you, so sensitive, mushy. They want to stay home. They don't want to go to the house. I mean, they're surprised to listen to a video. They're like, oh, good, I got a little headset on. I'm alone. I'm in my bedroom and no one's bugging me. I love this. Then there's the air people. That would be Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. Then there's the air people. Oh, God, I'm not sitting in my house with a headset on. I got to get on a bike. I got to read a book. I got to talk to someone. I got to go take a class. You're going to be all in the class. Oh, I love studying.
I see
And they're
what you're
fickle,
doing.
and they can't make decisions, and they start relationships, and they forget them, and they can't find their purse, and they where's their phone, and they're a little bit airheads. You've heard that term. And they're brilliant teachers, and they're really smart, especially when it comes to AI and science. The first category is like, shh, you talk too much. Wish everybody was quiet. Air is like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, third that would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Third category is Earth. Hello. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Super grounded. They measure their ego success by money, results, and prestige. Can't stand mediocrity.
Well, let me ask you that.
Oh, excuse me, was that you or was that you?
Well, no, just let me hold on. Pause. Hold on. I have a question. Yes, that used to be me, and I've gone through a deep journey. It's almost like life has had its way of humbling me, and through that humbling, I feel like there are parts of me that have dissolved, priorities shifted, ways of seeing the world that are just different. And I'm curious how that plays into coming back to like the personality traits or the behaviors. Like,
So you interrupted me. So let me describe the earth signs, and we're going to finish. I'm going to do it again because I was right on you and you just popped.
well, I felt seen.
Grounded. Yes,
too
so
seen.
he
I
felt
felt
seen.
too
Look what he
seen.
just.
I
He's
felt too
slippery. The
seen.
guy's slippery. Grounded, stable, prestige, money, and status. That is your essence. And that is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm going to do the last category, Aries, Leo, Sag. They're wild people. They drink too much. They party too hard. They spend too much money. They travel all the time. They can't stay still. They have ants in their pants, and they're really loud. Their voice is 3 times the size of everybody else, and they find themselves getting in trouble. Aries, Leo, Sag. Now, back to your question. You had life stalk you because you were so bound to the earth element that it was suffocating you. I'm going to go be an engineer, and I'm going to go make money, and I'm going to go get prestige, and I'm going to be a double Capricorn. And then all of a sudden, your deeper soul, which we distinguish in the book, that's your ego. I want to be successful.
So, okay, so this is cool. So does astrology at a base level give you the map of your ego?
As distinct from your soul.
So in the map, you can see my soul qualities and my ego qualities.
Ego. That's all in the book.
That's really cool.
That's the rising sign is your soul, and your ego is the sun sign.
So what if they're both the same?
Well, you have a Taurus sun, and you're a Capricorn rising, and your moon's in Cap. You've got a little running start. That's why your purpose came in so hard, because your soul is the same as your moon, so there is a congruence. I think a better question is simple. If you're actively choosing your rising sign, and you are Capricorn, there's a low road, which is ambition and driven and pushy and insecure and really, really feeling desperate that they're not doing enough. That's the low road. The high road, you can't relate to that. The high road is, oh, I really trust that I'm a manifester or a woman-fester, and I'm capable. And time goes on, and I'm noticing that the older I get, the more results are appearing, and I don't have to push. Now, that's the high. This is in the book. There's a low road of insecurity with earth people, and there's a high road of being patient as a tree or a mountain or a rock. No one's in a rush, said the Taurus. But that's not easy because the human ego is so insecure and so neurotic and so anxious and so nervous and so...
What's your perspective on like generational trauma and patterns being passed down through family lines?
Wow. We went from the ego to family generations. Okay. In no uncertain terms, the reason why we're born is to evolve the human species by absorbing family karma. Every human you know absorbed their family karma. This was the agreement to come here. You never really remember that till you're like in your 50s going, God, was my job to clean my family karma? I tried to run away as far away as I could from them. When I realized that every human that comes down here absorbs and echoes the wounding. Like I came from a family where I was 100, I did my DNA, I'm 99.9% Jewish. They go, oi, everything's oi, it's so sad. They're such not happy. I mean, is it okay to say this? I am the president of the Jews for Joy Club, and I can't get any members.
The Jews for Joy?
Yeah, I made it up.
Beautiful.
Because I'm trying to do joy this life, because everyone in my family is like this. Oh my God, you won't believe what happened. And it's real, because my whole lineage came across from the Ukraine and from Russia, and they were so stressed, and they got to America, and it's refugees, and we all have this.
Is there
Everyone has this.
So inside the chart, there's a way to see your ego,
The sun sign,
sun sign. There's a way to see
the rising sign, your soul.
your soul. Is there a way to see what's your generational, what karma you're carrying?
I love these questions. That's the 4th house cusp. So the 10th house talked about your career. That was the first thing you asked. How do we know our purpose? The opposite of your career is your childhood wound. Isn't that funny? And it influences your career.
Yeah, your mess becomes your message. That's what was always shared with me.
I love that.
Yeah.
And your angst becomes your liberation. The very thing that hurts you becomes the doorway for your freedom. So yes, in astrology, you can look at the childhood wounding and see how important, how much this lifetime you're carrying. No one ever hears this. This is first. I have Chiron, a planet that describes the biggest wound in your chart, in the house of my family. So I did carry an amazing heavy weight from my lineage this life. And, we sat together on the couch. That was really a revelation for me when you showed me. This is what he did. He came into my house and he started poking at my deepest. Tell me the story.
Wait.
You did.
You're not making it seem like it was like
Well,
it was.
I didn't
I
ask.
told you what
I
we
don't
were doing.
No, you did not.
I told you we were going to map
It
your
was
triggers.
2 minutes in a conversation. I didn't get it. The depth that you were going to elevator down.
I
didn't
told
know.
you what I did.
Okay. Anyways, he's trying to say, tell me, but I didn't really. So let me just take it innocent. I didn't know. And I discovered that my deepest wound, my style was to process. It was a very helpful encounter. I got to say out loud that I've made a lifetime of clearing out this childhood wound and lineage that I carry. And it's put me into this position of the president for the Jews for Joy. And it's not an easy position because once you clear it out, as an elder, it took me a long time and a lot of therapy. There is freedom. And it's kind of funny being happy. It's kind of like I don't like to
Trip. It's a trip for a bit. Like I had to really get used to not creating chaos.
and not doing drama.
Not doing drama. Yeah, it's like
It's a habitual. We're addicts. We're seriously, as a human condition, I can say it out loud. I was addicted to oy. And it wasn't because I was trying to jump into it. It just followed me everywhere.
yeah.
And as the years have gone by, I realized through my meditation practice, through my therapeutic practice, watching you.
Are there like inside of, I'm just like so fascinated. So inside the maps, is there also a framework for seeing what types of tools and modalities and practices are going to be best for my type?
Well, hypnosis, Pluto on the midheaven. If you don't go deep, really deep, like having me tell you my scariest stories of my life, that's what I did. That's so Pluto. That's the furthest planet out. We can't see it. They tried to demote it. 100 astronomers got together about 10 years ago and said, we don't want Pluto to be a planet. I was like, excuse me? Do you know what it means? It's about death. It's about transmutation. It's about pain. They were trying to exercise it and get it out. Well, it didn't go very far because Pluto is a planet. So in your chart, me knowing that, you're going to be drawn to the deepest topics and nothing will satisfy you. Good news is you'll be good at your job. That's why you've got a great podcast. What we're doing, this is a deep conversation. Bad news is anything superficial and you're going to judge the shit out of it.
Judgment.
Judgment. You're going to start going, I don't like that.
Judgment feels like a thing I've had to work on a lot.
Triple Earth.
Is that a triple Earth thing? It also feels like something that's just come through my cultural lineage.
It is
being
built.
Indian.
They're simultaneous. Our lineage, my being a very blunt personality type and a Jewish woman, kind of matches. What do you think? You being a very critical man with a lineage of having your parents, you're kind of critical. Then there's the free will button. Like when I realized, I know that I have a tendency to have, shades of Tourette's. I say things at times like I just did. You shouldn't say Tourette's. I say things that are inappropriate. And it's in my chart. It's in my culture. It was a Jewish women in my household were loud. And then I became aware. First, I was self-conscious when I realized it, and I tried to control it, and I realized this isn't going away. What I added to it was humor. Because your observer's on when you're watching yourself, and you're like, there goes Deb again, saying all. And there's a little smirk on my face. I'm not caught by feeling self-conscious. It reduces the... So I've really liberated myself.
Yeah, I see the value of just of
Accepting.
astrology that can guide you into deep states of acceptance and calm. And also, though, I've been really fascinated with using it as a way to kind of plan your life. Can you speak to that? Because I think that, and cultures have talked about this for, centuries. Like my parents, like they're mapping for my brother's wedding. They were mapping the day we had a Vedic astrologer come in and ask for all of our charts. And like he had specific incantations related to our
Totally.
charts. Like, can you speak to kind of just the construct of life planning, love planning, big decision planning as it pertains to like your chart and then like just the chart at large?
So I'm going to go with one simple trigger, one simple indicator. It's called the progress moon. So in my company, we're in this big change. And 3 of the main players all just changed their progressed moon. Now, it happens once every 2.5 years. I pay attention. I have 50 women in my company. I know their charts because I've got something wrong with my brain and I can't forget. So I have all these charts in my head, and I saw the progressed moon getting ready to change. Something's going to go. And sure enough, the whole thing changed. Now, did I prepare because I knew about it? Yes. Was I surprised? No. Is it uncomfortable change? I hate it personally. I bet you don't like it either, Taurus. Yeah. And because I know astrology, there's ways to look at when do you get pregnant? When do you get married? When are you moving? When are you changing jobs? There is definitely indicators, one being the progressed moon, one being Saturn return we talked about. It's in my book for a beginner.
So like, okay, well, let's just play this out because Saturn's return, right? Like, let's say there's, so what should I have not done in my Saturn's return?
Well, you don't really get a vote. So I hate to tell you,
Yeah.
This is where the free will
Well, I guess I'm looking back on it now. I'm out of my Saturn's return now. So like, if I would have known, let's say I would have known astrology at the age of 25, right?
Well, I did. It didn't help. So my point is, it didn't help.
Okay.
You know it's coming. You're like looking out the window. You should have seen me. As I reached my Saturn return, I'm like looking out the window. And then I realized nobody's talking to me. And then it hit me. It came in. It was overnight. The whole thing shifted. So it's more like what I think you're really asking is there wisdom in being prepared? Saturn return's coming. Do we have control over this life? Can I like scare everybody? We are not in control.
Yeah.
Said the elder. Let go and trust that your angels have your back. And, you know, I can confidently say, because I'm in a big change right now, I can confidently say that at this age, it used to be I hated change. I could see it coming in the chart. I couldn't predict what was coming. I knew COVID would be there. We saw it. We didn't know it would be COVID, but all the astrologers knew that 2020, this chart was off the scale. As we know, about 2026 and 2027. By April 2026, the whole of the world is going to be in a full-blown transformation around how to deal with anger and fire and dealing with speed and dealing with the fact that AI is coming to get us. But right now, business as usual. Everything's going retrograde. We're in, what month is this? September, at the end of September. La, la, la. Now, I know it's coming.
So, okay. How do you balance, like I could already see like constantly looking for the next thing that's dropping, that's happening, the next change in planetary alignment. Like I could feel that to be like really like, if we don't have control anyways, right? What's the balance of like trusting and preparing that's like healthy? How would you teach that?
I love your questions. I love this podcast. My observer just kicked in. I was like, wow. I'm going to say, what I want to translate your question to is...
Yeah, please just keep translating, yeah.
Is how to stay in the here and now when we know that 2026 and 2027 AI is coming. Well, we can feel something's coming. We sense it. Some of you are intuitive. The water people in this world that are listening, they get feelings. Their dreams tell them. They go for psychic readings. They get instinct. And then there's the part where we have to go to deep, radical trust. So you can sense something. You can feel something. Saturn return's coming. You can try to prepare. We're out of control. We're all kind of crazy. And then there's this deep, abiding trust that comes from wisdom.
Okay.
And what is wisdom, said the elder? Ready? Half of you is really smart and you studied and and the other half's dumb. Wisdom. And the dumb part says, I'm out of control. I hope angels are on my side. I'm a little bit scared. And I can regulate my nervous system because I learned some skills along the way. That was meditation. That was sound healing. That was ayahuasca. That was learning how to take time out. That was, really, there's been some skills. I've been drinking the clean water. All of that is so I can prepare because I feel like something's coming. I can't put my finger on it. And the wisdom says I trust.
So during specific periods, because it sounds like every human being goes through specific transits, right? So my Saturn's return, imagine there's like a Jupiter return too.
Exactly.
Okay. So what are the like what was the if I could go back, and if you've mapped, you know, all these, let's just say there's a big database of people that have gone through Saturn's return. Like what was the common lesson or the common universal principle that that period was meant to teach? And is there a universal principle for each transit that we can be aware of as
Such
we
good
move through our
questions.
lives?
Oh my goodness. This is kind of funny. Saturn return says, ha ha, you thought you were in control. That's what happens between 28 and 30. They pull out the rug.
Got it. So that's
Now,
the core
it's
lesson.
not always bad. I loved mine. I became famous at that time. I was in Vancouver. A radio station called me. I didn't see it coming. And I suddenly was out in public behind the scenes. No one knew I was a little munchkin at 28. And I sounded really wise. And I had this huge practice overnight because of my voice and because I could do this thing. So that was my Saturn return. I didn't see it coming. My whole life changed. My finances changed. Now, other people's, the rug comes out. They lose their partner. Their business falls apart. There's different ranges. And the variable, and that's what I think you're asking, the wise soul keeps their eye on their soul and not their ego. And this is what the book's about. Distinguishing the soul from the ego. The soul is so trusting. Source of unconditional love is what soul means. The ego is completely neurotic, evading God's oneness. EGO. No, I'm scared. I got to be in control. Those two are a ping pong match. If there's a way to prepare for any transit, and I do this every single day, I put my hand to my heart when I wake up in the morning, and I lie sometimes just to keep it going, and I say, I trust. And I say to my soul, take over my life. I'm all yours. It's every day I start my day.
So ultimately, the lesson underneath every transit is just bringing you closer to that blueprint of the soul and the principles of the soul. So there's the universal principles that there's nothing to control, there's nothing to hold on to.
Remember when I said to you, you can relax now. You couldn't get it wrong, Raj. Your soul's in such a pure spot. There's nothing you could do to get this right. You were like, really? Are you sure? Can you sign something? How much do I owe you? So you can't get it wrong. Only if, and you can see this in this man, how deeply am I committed to my service here? And everyone has to ask this. Every day, my kids will tell you this. I wake up every morning asking, who can I serve today? Like, this is my Cancer midheaven. I want to be everyone's mom. It's gotten to be a problem at times, I'll admit. And then I've had to learn that lesson. Not sure I got it, but I'm working on it. And the real question is, who can I serve today? And that's why I sat down and I asked you, how can I help you with this podcast? Who are we aiming at? Help me be of service today, Raj. For real. Not like so many podcasts. People stick their... That's why you guys listen to Next Level Soul. Went to 1 million views. Why? Because he interviewed me like you are, and we got so real. And people are like, please, can you be real with me? Like, can I swear?
You can do whatever you
I
want.
was so fucked up as a younger person because, like you, I had hyper ambition. It's in my chart. I've always had a very strong work ethic. But it didn't come with like, oh, I trust that I'm going to go exactly where I need to be, and one day I'll write a book and it'll be a bestseller. No, it was like this. Like I lived for so much of my life. I remember teaching at Esalen about 20 years ago, and I was so nervous. I walked in, and then I realized, now I look back, I was just there last week, and I think, wow, my little ego. She totally didn't believe in me.
Even knowing astrology, why, like, what was, if you knew that there's a soul blueprint here, even at the young age, why do you feel like it took a while for you to learn that lesson?
Because I didn't have an elder talking to me. I didn't have an example. I didn't know a Jewish woman that grew up in my culture. I just went to my 50th high school reunion. I looked around. I was like, I'm going to go now. I mean, I loved them. And I had the best time. I had the best time. There were some people there, I just looked in their eyes. And I can't tell them I'm an astrologer, psychologist who's been working for almost 50 years in love with her job and worked with these famous people. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
So the answer to your question is being happy, coming out of drama, understanding trust, like really deeply in my heart. Now I know, but I didn't have any examples. I broke ground. I was a fire starter.
What else would you share with little Debra? Like, what else would you share with her to.
He's doing that thing again.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just bringing in.
What I say to her all the time now is, first of all, we're here. We got here. So you honey, I got you. I don't feel the pressure anymore. I mean, I'm in a big change in my job and my work. We're in a big change.
Well, not necessarily like what you would say to little Deborah right now.
Oh, then?
Yeah, like
I wish I could have told her. I did try. I have to say, I did practice these new age things even then. Like, stop worrying. I did try to tell her that. But there's a difference. This is why astrology is so helpful. I call it Windex. It's like you go in your left brain and you spray all this Windex, and suddenly your left brain activates. Like, oh, I'm learning about where the planets are. And it's easy. I teach it in a very, like a 4th grade level. But because the brain gets lax, like especially with social media, we're not reading books anymore. Our memory, our attention span has slipped. So Windex comes out, you're learning astrology, and then you start to realize, it gets confirmation comes in a very concrete way, which you love, like concrete evidence. And that, if I have to say what's prevented my security as a younger person was I didn't know. And as an adult now, I'm seeing I did reach a level of being able to meditate. I never thought I could meditate. I wiggle. I'm a Gemini. I'm not like you. I have this thing. He's so earth.
Well, here's the thing. I never used to be able to sit still for more than 3 minutes.
And what happened?
I started feeling my feelings. I started loving myself, and I started forgiving myself, and I started learning how to hold space for my heart, and I started learning how to be kind and turn my inner critic into a compassionate inner cheerleader and coach. And then my body just settled. I felt safer to be in my body, but for the longest time, I remember opening up a Headspace app, and I would sit there, and 2 minutes in, I'd be like, this is stupid. And I would like just...
Yeah, I had that too, tell the truth.
I couldn't do it. I was like, it was just so much noise.
That's so interesting because I love your work about feeling your feelings. I until that night, I didn't realize how profound in my aging process that it supported.
Yeah, it's. I feel like emotional hygiene needs to be like brushing your teeth. Like the second something comes up, feel it, release it, move it, get love.
The biggest cry yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, but I loved it. I mean, I know enough now. I'm just echoing what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't. It used to be self-conscious. I didn't want to say oi. I didn't want to be that person. Like I'm so fucked up. And then I realized that little part of me must be detoxed. Every time I repressed it, it hurt my body.
Hurt you.
I really heard you.
Yeah. Oh.
I
Just
mean,
a little bit of a surprise.
It was an echo of what I already knew, but I didn't know we were going there that night.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were coming in to delve into the depths of my scorpionic self. And I don't let people in easily.
I know. I feel lucky.
Well, you kind of pushed yourself on it.
Well, I asked for permission.
And I trusted you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not blaming you, but I left that night and I called my best friend who I speak to every night. And I said, the weirdest thing happened tonight. I didn't realize your capacity to delve in such a profound way. And it did mirror back to me parts of myself that I really like.
You have a profoundly deep soul.
He said to himself, looking in the mirror, you do too.
We're all just walking each other
But
home.
some people are old, and I am.
Totally.
I'm
I feel
very
that.
old. Yeah.
I feel that. I feel I mean, I'm not surprised that you kind of took off at such a young age. You know, like I felt that for the longest time with me too. Like I launched this podcast when I was 20, when was it, 27, 26? And I remember being so insecure because I was like, how do I like know where this stuff's coming from? Sometimes I say stuff, I don't even remember what I'm saying. I never remember what I'm saying. I'm going to have to really listen to this podcast because I don't remember anything we talked about.
Wow, that's Neptune on your ascendant. You're a channel.
It just comes and I'm like, okay, great. Like we'll
That's
but
Neptune.
But for the longest
Neptune.
time I used to judge it. I would
Like
judge
you're
it.
slippery. Like
I
you
was
didn't
like,
have a good
oh
memory.
yeah. I was like, or like I judge like I'm too young, or like I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be like maybe a little further along. Or same thing with entrepreneurship. I remember before I even became an entrepreneur, I was like, I need to go to grad school. I need to go do this. I need to go do that because I just didn't believe. And somehow, some way, it all worked out. But
somehow, some way. I remember
written in the book.
I remember when I lived in Vancouver and I had that radio show at my Saturn Return, and they couldn't see me, but they could hear my wisdom, and then they would invite me to come speak. And I'd walk in and they'd go, "You are not Debra Silverman." Because I looked I look young now, but you can't believe how young I looked. I mean, like similarly, and I'd be like, how do I get to be an authority on astrology when I'm in my 20s? I was in my 20s as well. And I had to kind of step over that and go, don't get confused by the package.
Deborah. Well, I am thrilled to be your friend. I am absolutely thrilled because every time I'm around you, not only do I learn something new, I'm always laughing. And I am delighted that you've poured so much of your work and so much of your heart into this work and have brought this into such a mainstream conversation, because I see maps like these.
So much jargon. Astrology's filled. So many of you are flirting with it. It doesn't work without going into a deep, which is what you love. That's why I'd love for you to read the book.
Well, I'm excited to read the book, and I also want to learn more about your school. So
It's so crazy. It only happens twice a year.
yeah.
January and September. And it's very intimate. There's only 10. So, because my whole thing, like, this is what I loved about you. My whole thing is authentic and embodied, like, touch me, touch me. So there's only 10 people in the room. Up comes your chart once a week for 6 weeks. Oh, I'm going to learn about my elements. I'm triple earth.
You're saying there's only 10 people that are
In the classroom.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it limits my capacity.
So, okay.
Because I wasn't prepared to sacrifice. There's too much jargon with astrology. There's too many people doing superficial astrology. It makes me, I could get very judgmental. So I'm not going to, just warning. But I do have some judgments about using it without the depth. So the why I kept it so small was so that you would study your chart, not theory, not someone famous, not charts that have details that you can't relate to. Like, where's the practical? It's called, you're going to love this, it's called applied astrology. It's practical. 10 people in a room, 6 weeks, once a week. You come with your chart on the screen. Your teacher who has studied with me knows what to look for. And we just look, you know what we look for? You're going to love this. We look for the shadow. We look for the gremlins. That's our function.
Yeah, okay. So
And timing. The very last class is all about the timing, about Saturn. It's very simple. And yeah, and the school sells out.
great. Okay, great. How do we send people to the school?
Well, this is a special podcast because anyone that comes from Raj, you have like a minute to get into the school. But you could also, we might have sold out by the point this comes out.
Yeah.
But in January, the doors will open again.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
so it happens twice a year.
Can we just make a code Raj or something?
Yeah.
And whether it's now
They
or
call that
in
affiliate.
yeah, Raj. And just, well, at least then I know that somebody
Oh, no,
came from.
they will definitely be asked, where did you come from? Then we definitely make a
Okay.
note. And
Okay, great. Well, so what else? What did I not ask you?
the school can make you an astrologer. You can finish all 3 levels and actually be an astrologer at the end. You know Amrit, who's a podcast host, Amrit Sadi, I think his name is. He's now a professionalist. It's so fun. Some people come in just for level 1, 6 weeks. They get that download of what was their purpose. Some people want to know how to do a reading. And then they do what you did to me that night. They know exactly how to penetrate the veneer. I teach them. So there's a range of what to do in the name of the school. But start with level 1. That's
Got it.
Yeah, and then I think your best question during this podcast has been the free will zone. Like, what's written by the Akashic records, by your chart that's immovable? Oh, you're triple Earth. That's not changing. What is changing? The narrative. And how do you change the narrative? By putting on your observer, becoming aware, getting a little Windex up there, cleaning out your head by the stars, and then going, oh, there's some free will about my narrative.
It's a whole new paradigm. It's a whole new paradigm to be able to see yourself through the lens of nature. As in, I came into the world perfect. I am a perfect creation. I love that you said, like, God, what did you say? Something.
God's not playing with dice.
Or-
That wasn't me. That was
No,
Einstein.
No. You said something about, like, God wasn't messing around the day she
She
made
didn't have
you.
a bad day when she made you.
That's right. And
That's a Silverman.
I want to double click on that because I think that's the gift that astrology gives people, is to truly embody that. And if most people just felt that, remembered that, anchored that in their being, just the amount of suffering that can be alleviated in the world. And I think that's why I love you, and I love the Cancer, the love that pours from you in that message. Because it's so, am I doing this right?
Yeah, because you have Mars in Cancer and so do I. Cuddly little people.
Yeah, I love loving on people. This is the thing. I love doing the deep, but equally, I love
The
seeing
deep and the sweet.
Yeah, I love both. It's all part of it. So Debra, okay, so I don't believe in astrology. The book is out everywhere.
And there's a first book that you might want to read that has no astrology in it,
Oh, is
which
that
I
just
didn't
your
bring
life?
with.
Is it just your life story?
No, it's called The Missing Element, and it's just about the elements. So if you don't want to study astrology, go get that book. If you get it from my website, I send you the chart in the mail. But if you want to learn astrology, this is that other book, my first book, The Missing Element. I did it on purpose. No astrology in it.
You were afraid to talk about astrology?
Well, I just didn't want to get everybody going, I don't believe in astrology.
Yeah. You were a little conscious, huh?
Well, because can you imagine?
I can imagine that, being
an academic raised in a Jewish culture where I was put inside of a very high echelons, and I'm talking about stars. I got a lot of funny faces.
Yeah.
And I enough already. Like, try it. You'll like it. Oh my God. It's only lasted across all time.
Oh, Debra, again, you're just the best. I got a final question for you. In the midst of everything you're doing, everywhere you've been, and everywhere you're going, how do you stay grounded? And what's a practice you've used to just become a more grounded human being?
Such a great question. You ask everybody this?
I do ask everyone this.
My answer is a turtle. I just slowed it down because I was not grounded, just in case you're wondering. I've learned the practice of slowing down.
And how
Turtles. Think about a turtle so close to the earth with its feet touching the ground and everything it needs on its back. So I gave myself the gift of slowly walking, making love slowly, eating slowly. Like when we sat together that night, closing our eyes, listening. I love going slow. It's like my favorite thing. So that's how I ground.
So just remember.
It's unnatural for me. I learned it.
Guess who's awesome?
You are.
You.
There's only one of us here.
We're both looking in the mirror. Oh, well.
And you,
And you
everyone
too.
listening.
Everybody's
yes.
watching.
Please know that there is such a difficulty being human. I just need to say this when we close. It's not an easy game here. The lineage we came from in our childhoods, not to mention the history of this planet and men abusing women and women trying to stand up and dealing. It's just been at this place, when you go home and you look back at Earth, you're going to go, I can't believe I signed up for that whole long ride. That was so hard.
Yeah, actually, I have another question for you. Well, because I can't stop with you. Why do you believe that we, as whoever's conscious, is alive inside of this era, like now? Why did I choose to incarnate now?
Yes, such good questions. First of all, there's 8 billion people, so a lot of us decided to come now.
Yeah, so why?
This is the most critical historical moment in the history of our planet. We've never had 8 billion people here. 1. 2, we've never had the technology to look into a microphone and look into a camera and cross-current, cross-cultural. This is a very unusual moment in time. So we were probably sitting up there on the other side, and I said, Raj, this cool thing's going to happen on this planet called Earth. It's going to happen in like these, I don't even know, but you want to go down? I'll meet you there. You were like, can you explain it? And I was like, not really. But I'll tell you this, it's sensual, it's awakening, it's electric, and it goes on for a long time you get to eat, you get to have orgasms there. What's that, you said? I said, just listen. I can't explain it right now. Just say yes or no. Let's go. It was kind of like that. I just know that all of us were sold some kind of advertising firm that gave us the most selling of sales, and we came down, and now we have to reckon with the fact that we chose to be here, wake up inside the dream, choose this with the fuck yes, I'm doing this.
Yep.
And then come study your charts so you remember what you signed up for. What did I sign up for? Jeez. Now I got it. I'm a Gemini.
Oh my God, you're so great. Oh my God. Everybody, that's a wrap for this week's episode of Stay Grounded. I'm Raj. This is your new friend, Debra.
She has a school for you to come find out.
She does have a
who you are.
school to find out, and a book. And from us, stay grounded. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Stay Grounded. No matter where you're from or what you're going through, I hope it helps you remember just how incredible you are and have always been. If you're on a path of emotional healing or self-discovery and would like to learn how Liberate can support your journey, head to www.rajana.com/liberate. That is LIBER8 to learn more about our current group programs and one-on-one offerings. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.